Hi again, everyone. This video is sponsored by, I'm going to call her Elle because I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce her name. And here's her story. Hi, Ollie. Thanks for making these videos and for helping people deal with narcissists. I believe my stepmother is a narcissist. From a young age, she has always put me down in front of others. She argues a lot and thinks very highly of herself and speaks bad about other people all the time. It was very hard when I was a teenager, trapped in her house. She made me clean the house a lot, and it was always my job to clean up after dinner, and I was never allowed to cook. That's the case now, even when I go visit, and I'm 31. Okay, Al. Well, first, I already knew where this was going by your first email. She emailed me to find out how the process works, told me this is about her stepmother. And in her original email was the link to what she does and who her natural mother is, her biological mother is. And I haven't read this yet, so I don't know if you mention it or not. And if you do, then I'll bring it out. But I'm going to tell you, as soon as I read that and then followed the link, this is all, I knew where this was going. This is all jealousy based. This is all jealousy based by your stepmother. Your stepmother does not have a high opinion of herself. Your stepmother feels inferior to you and your mother, and I will explain why later. My parents divorced when I was 5, and my father remarried my stepmother when I was 9. Initially, she was nice, but as soon as they had their own daughter together, she started to be mean to me. It upset me, and I would complain to my dad, and he would tell me that she was angry that she had to look after me and that they had to spend the money on me when she wanted to spend it all on their own daughter. I was very far away from my mother, who was living in another country at the time, as she could not afford to look after me, so I had to live with my dad, and I hardly got to see or speak to my mother. It used to really upset me, and it still does, that even though I was going through so much being separated from their mother, and my stepmother would still be cruel and unfair. I remember when I was younger and I told her that it wasn't fair, and her reply was, well, life is not fair. I didn't think that was really the right thing to say to a child. I found an escape with my studies, and I worked really hard at school. I appreciated the education I was able to receive by living with my dad, and somehow all that gave me the strength to deal with my stepmother when I was a teenager and before that. But I remember at school that I had a ripped jumper and a broken skirt, and looking back now, I can see that I was neglected. I remember one of the girls at school making fun of me and asking me why my clothes were ripped. I can't believe that no one realized I was being neglected. My stepmother would always act so positive and happy in public. Rarely did rarely did people see the true side of that mean side. My father even stick up for himself or for us, and she would get really angry at him, and she would shout at him that he was useless and nothing without her. But actually, he was quite well off on his own right, but somehow she took away his confidence. I have an older sister too. She's 5 years older than me, and my stepmother was really harsh on her, and so she left home when she was just a teen, and she did not finish high school. She's hardly welcome home now to this day, and my father did not go to her wedding. When I was 18, she made it very clear that I was no longer her or my father's responsibility, and I moved to the city and supported myself. I sent myself to university at 26 with the help of my grandmother. My father and stepmother have a daughter together, my half sister. She is 11 years younger than me. They have always really spoiled her, sending her to the best schools, giving her multiple instrument lessons, buying expensive gifts that they would never buy me, etc. It's hard to believe that we are sisters, the difference in how we've been treated. And they expect me to be fine with it. But even though we are just half sisters, the way I've been treated and the way she's been treated is unacceptably different. I'm going to explain all of this to you at the end. All of this, because it's a very simple answer, Al. It has not been easy, and initially my father would stick up for me when I was younger. But as I get older, he doesn't anymore. She recently sent me an abusive email. I'm engaged to be married, and she lashed out at me that I'm not a very nice person, calling me selfish, but really I'm not. And every time I go to their house, I try my best to be kind and helpful, yet every time I am in the wrong, and they find cause to be angry with me no matter what I do. So I wanted to write to you to find out how I should deal with this, please. Of course, I love my dad and I want him in my life, but at the same time, I'm being emotionally and verbally abused every time I go to his house by his wife. I don't know I don't know much about narcissists, but my stepmother's personality seems to meet all the traits that are narcissist typically is, and I seem to be focused on her anger as the focus of her anger as my father's daughter. That's not why you're the focus of her anger, because you're your father's daughter. You're the focus of her anger because you're your mother's daughter. Can you please shed some light on how to deal with this? It hasn't gotten better, and it seems like she's actually getting worse as she gets older, and now they're almost in their 60s. Can I just cut them off and have no contact with them? Yes. I think this is what she wants. However, they are still inviting me back to the house for family events because they want me to help take part. But I know that if I go back, they will just put me down, and this makes me feel so sad when this happens. When I go there, she makes me feel unwelcome, and I think it's just my father's love for me that invites me back in the first place. However, when I go, she talks bad about me to him, and then she gets angry at me. She manages to convince him that I'm causing problems and and that the pain of the divorce to my mother is the cause of his upset. Now, when the truth is the reason he's upset, now is because she is so mean to him. But he's but he's but he but he's blind to it. I'm sorry, there's some double words in there. She manages to convince him that I'm causing all the problems, and the pain of the divorce to my mother is the cause of his upset. Now, when the truth is, the reason he's upset now is because she is so mean to him, but he is too blind to it. All right, I got it now. I would really appreciate any advice. My fiance comes from a loving family and he doesn't really understand what I'm going through. He wants us to have a relationship with my father and stepmother, but it hurts so much. And in turn, that has an effect on my productiveness at work and our relationship. And I want to walk away from this pain and start a new life away from suffering. Thank you for your help. I look forward to seeing the video, and thank you very much for helping people like me. Best regards to you, L. Okay. First things first. Okay? What she said about the pain of the divorce from your mother is the cause of your upset. That's the cause of her being upset. Why? Because she's jealous of you and your mother. It's odd that you and your mother are doing the exact same thing, L. I said I looked at the link you sent because you sent it from your work email. Elle's an artist and a very, very good one. As was her mother, as is her mother for a long time. Her mother's a gallery artist. Now, Charlene works in a gallery, so getting into a gallery isn't an easy thing. Her mother's done commission work for dukes. Now, I know when you were younger, your mother was probably a starving artist after the divorce. She was doing what she was doing, but she had that talent. As do you, Elle. That's the jealousy. The reason it started when your younger sister was born with your stepmother is because now she had her hooks into your father and she could flip that switch. She had him now. Once you have a kid, that's it. She got him. She got her hooks in, and she don't have to feign being nice to you and your older sister any longer. And her fear is your younger sister, her sibling, was never going to add up to be as talented and smart as you. because you came from your mother, and we know how talented your mother is because you have the same friggin' talent, Elle. When she puts you down and starts these fights and you say you can't work, that is the desired effect. That's why she's doing it. She doesn't want you to get to be a famous artist. She doesn't want your work to get out there. She doesn't want it. The finest schools for her daughter. Why? Because she didn't come from your mother. She didn't have your talent. The music, all these artistic things they put her through. But who's the artist? You are. You are. You can't see this, Elle. You can't see where this is all coming from. This is all coming from rank jealousy. Rank jealousy. She hoovered your father in. She was good to you for a couple until she had a kid of her own with him. Now she had him. Now she had him. And that's when the switch always comes with the evil stepmother. Okay? Once the evil stepmother has a kid of their own, you're done. You're done with the narcissist. Now, I understand what you're saying about your fiance. He doesn't get it. Okay? He's going to have to trust you on this. It's like, we're going to be married. We're going to spend the rest of our lives together. I've known these people my whole life. Well, your stepmother, a good portion of your life. Okay? This woman is out to sabotage me. Without a doubt, she always has since I was a child. Look at the evidence of it. Typical black sheep, golden child dynamic. Another narcissistic Cinderella story is what it is. But you were smart enough to get away, to move to another country. You've already proven what distance can do, because look at how your art's expanded once you were away from her. You were able to go to college, start doing art, and it seems like that is your job, that is your business, is your private art. You would have never have done that if you stayed. That's why they keep drawing you in. I promise you this. When you're not around, you think it's your father trying to draw you back there? It's not. It's her. It's her telling him, yeah, call or see, putting shit in his head, and then he calls. Why? Because she doesn't have easy access to you where you're at. So she needs to now, because she don't want to see you succeed, Al. She don't. She does not. So now she needs to keep doing this to hold you down, so hopefully she can hold her own daughter higher than you. That is exactly what is going on here. You are stuck in another narcissistic Cinderella story here. But you've already escaped. There's no reason to go back to the evil stepmother at this point. Now, how you deal with your father, I would make this very clear. Say, listen, I have my opinion on this. I have my feelings about this. Okay, I put up with this for, if you're 31 now, 20 years. 20 years, I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I don't want to know her. I don't want to see her. You want to have a relationship with me? That's just fine and dandy. That's just fine and dandy. You want to come out alone and visit me and my fiance and husband, and if we have grandchildren, fine with me. She's not my mother. I have a mother. She's the woman who abused me, and it's over. It's over in regards to her, because her only goal here, Elle, is to hold you down, is to prevent you from making art. Same goal as Charlene's parents did to her. Okay, you come from talent. Not everybody gets into a gallery. Believe me, we know. We know. Charlene runs one, runs accounts payable for Wyland Art Gallery. She came out of the gallery. She knows that stuff. She now does starting to do all the hiring now for the galleries. Gallery artists are a big deal. Gallery artists are a big deal, especially when you can sell prints, when you're able to run prints, and that's a lot to be jealous of. And it shouldn't be any coincidence that your younger sister went to all these schools and all this music, trying to give her something. She was praying, your stepmother, that the talent came from your father somehow. It didn't. It came from your mother. And that's always been the issue with her. And it will be the issue with this woman until the day she dies, until you have to cut it off. And you have to make sure your fiance has your back. No, like family, like you don't understand what family. Look, when you come from a loving family that doesn't abuse, you cannot conceptualize this. He'll figure it out if he's able to stick it out and it works. In a couple of years, he'll figure this shit out. But by that time, you are so far down the rabbit hole, you can't even get out. Okay? You're already a far away. Far away. Far away. You have your talent. You're all set up. This woman's trying to stop it. And don't go back. And you need to be firm, not out of control emotional, firm with your father. I'm not putting up with it anymore. I'm not coming back there. I want nothing to do with her. Nothing. You chose, because your father is responsible for this too. Your father's the one who allowed all this shit. He could have stopped it any time he wanted to. He chose not to. He sent you to school, neglected and ripped stuff, and bought your younger sister everything she wanted. He's not absolved from any of this. He enabled it. To me, he's just as much to blame as your stepmother is. He's just as much to blame, and he probably went along to go along because he realized, wow, I don't want to divorce this one. Because imagine, what do you think it would have been like, Elle, if he actually decided to divorce your stepmother? How do you think she'd have handled that shit? She was trapped. He got trapped, and I think he realizes it. And now he's just beaten the fuck down. But that doesn't mean you have to let this woman destroy your motivation, destroy your artwork. Because it's all out of jealousy. It's all out of jealousy. So remember that. Thank you so much for your contribution, Al. Thank you, and thank you for your story. I hope it helps. Another narcissistic Cinderella. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, or you'd like to set up a Skype chat or have a private video made, you know what to do with the PayPal and my email links in the description box. I'll have the video right back to you. This is Ollie Matthews. Thanks for watching. See you all again soon. Bye.